Okay, our beloved, so here is take 2. We are learning is what many of you are saying now. It feels so good for so many of you to finally acknowledge and accept the truth that you have been an active participant in the creation of your lives, regardless of what you have gone through, and how each lesson, each trial, each tribulation, each traumatic event, as well as the highs that you tend not to focus on, are here to teach you humility, are here to teach you love, are here to teach you boundaries, are here to teach you constructive criticism and loving feedback are not a bad thing, but something to guide you to becoming a better human being. How criticism comes in many forms, and if you can but just see it as feedback, you can then hear the hidden words hidden deep down within the criticism or the contrast, as we prefer to call it. When you have difficult moments, those moments are here to simply teach you to surrender and to become the best version of yourself, because each point of resistance merely shows you where you still need to grow. And for those of you who are doing this inner work and no longer projecting blame outside of yourselves while still holding those accountable that harm you, but recognizing holding them accountable is merely a karmic response to their behavior, but not a punishment or a judgment that flows from you. When you realize that the universe offers the experiences that you need as well as another in order to bring you into alignment, then the universe will also offer those same learning opportunities to your aggressors. And if you can let go of the need to punish those individuals on your own, meaning the retribution, masterful, controlling behavior that you could engage in, but instead to allow the universe to flow to where the natural consequences arise, you will find that the universe is able to reprimand the aggressors much better than you can. And on the flip side, if the person whom you have harmed can also let go and allow the universe to allow the natural consequences to flow out of your actions, then you too will be held accountable in the most viable way, meaning that you are more likely to learn from the lesson versus merely being punished. It is a very creative dance that energy produces. When you cannot see the pulls and the pushes and the movements of the energy world, which helps to align your experiences, until you can see those hidden strings moving you about like marionettes in certain ways, you would understand how the energetic pulls through which we operate move you about in a beautiful dance to expand the consciousness of the universe and to allow more and more data points to be created. But when you choose to move through your own decisions, meaning that your ego, meaning your desire to control the outcome, is the one who is in control, you will find oftentimes how the solution is not satisfactory. Your man brain versus your heart brain versus your gut brain matters. The man brain is the egoic brain, meaning you try to control the outcome. Your heart brain is where you come from when you are looking at things from a compassionate place. But sometimes the heart brain also leads you astray because it comes from a place of emotion, though it is oftentimes more thoughtful in its approach than the mind brain. And the gut brain, which is where your intuitive knowing really resides, is where we ultimately desire for you all to operate from. But you need to drop like an elevator from the mind to the heart to the gut. It's that simple. And many of you have shifted from the mind to the heart, which means that you are now open to feeling and exploring. But that is not the final destination. The final destination is to allow your brain in the gut to guide your actions and your desires more than you currently do. And you will move back and forth between these three brain centers frequently, because sometimes the mind brain is a good place to figure out how to fix the engine, meaning it is a logical, linear, fabricated process to troubleshoot how to fix the engine. However, if you use your gut brain to allow you to trust where you should start, it will oftentimes circumvent losing many hours and trying to figure it out. But when you need logical and linear processes, then yes, use your mind brain. It is the place to go. But it is not the place to start when you determine the rules and the policies for governing a people, for example. It is not the place to start when you decide how to run a nonprofit, how to set the policies for a hospital. It is designed to start at the gut because that is where unconditional love resides, then moving up to the heart to overlay it with a compassionate, energetic imprint, and then to move up to the mind to allow the logical processes now to flow from those decisions that have been made. Your country, your world, your ways of life have been governed by the mind brain for the most part up to now. And this means that the ego has been driving much of the decision making that should have resided within the gut. And as the vibration of this planet increases, rises to a higher frequency, you will find naturally that humankind will step onto that elevator and to drop from the mind brain to the heart brain and to the gut brain. And as you all move forward and experience these shifts and changes, you too will be amazed at how you also are more emotional, more caring, more loving, more attentive to the detail of the heartstrings that others are pulling on you, how your compassion for animals shift, how your compassion for the plight of the suffering shifts, how you are seeing others as they really are, which is living human beings, including the animal beings, and how they feel, they suffer, they experience pain outside of you. And up until now, you have only looked at it through your own eyes, how it affected and impacted you. But now you are really feeling, and we mean from the heart place, you are feeling the pain and the suffering of others, because that part of your heart chakra has been awakened. And you will continue to awaken with the coming months and days and weeks and minutes and years and moments and millennia. And you will notice that none of those times that we gave you are logical or linear. Because when you are multi-dimensional beings, there is no linearity. It is merely space. Merely space with no structure other than the geometric designs which hold everything together. The unseen framework, the sacred geometry which has governed your lives up to now. But you haven't really seen or explored it beyond the few. And you will now be able to see those energetic imprints and how they have held this cosmos together to keep you alive, to allow you to have the experiences that you have chosen to express, and how others have a similar life path, meaning theirs is uniquely designed for them as well. And when you begin to embrace this unique concept, everything in the ripple of time is going to change dramatically, because these geometric patterns will begin to align in a different way to allow you to move through the spiral of life with more harmonious experiences. It doesn't mean that you won't have the highs and the lows, but the anger which you express when the traumatic events happen will shift to more of being kind and compassionate and understanding how everything has purpose. And your victim mindset will shift into that of manifester without having to take a class, without having to learn the steps of this. It is stored within you, and you will intuitively become more knowing, more open, more knowledgeable about these things, because this information resides within your soul and within your cells. It is beautiful to watch humanity express itself and move through these gyrations of growth, even though from your perspective it does oftentimes look like pain and suffering. But it has purpose, and it is helping to refine you. And when you finally release the need to control the outcome and allow the path to simply unfold, you will feel less resistance within your body, a greater trust in the beauty of the universe. And you will also, and most importantly, be able to see the hidden, beautiful lessons that you can now unearth within each of these traumatizing experiences that you and only you personally go through. Allow others to enjoy their exploration as well, and do not offer them your insights on what the purposes are for their painful experiences unless, number one, they are open to hearing it, and number two, and most importantly, they ask you. No longer give unsolicited advice, because your journey is yours alone and theirs is theirs alone. And so it is. Namaste.